Logical fallacies are ways that students try to force an argument rather than using logic and reason, right? A logical fallacy means it's not really actually working. It sounds like it's working, but it's not, right? One is just talking badly about someone rather than addressing their argument, right? We see the example here. They are just kids who have no idea what they're talking about. So just using them insults, right? This is what they call sort of political or elementary school, just sort of bullying. You're stupid, rather than actually explaining what it is that they are saying and why it is wrong. Slippery slope, making it seem that one side of the argument opens the door to a slide towards a worst possible scenario. If we let kids have cell phones in class and they'll be making phone calls all day long and they'll never get any work done, then our classroom will be chaos and our kids will never learn anything. So all of a sudden, right, that doesn't really make sense. We allow some cell phones in the classroom. I'm not sure what that would do. It could, uh, you know, maybe they just have to keep them in the locker. I don't necessarily know. But this is all of a sudden going from one small thing to this huge thing that is called a slippery slope, right? If we let, uh, I don't know, if we let the dog in the house, next thing you know, squirrels will come in, and then foxes, and then we'll have a whole zoo in our house, right? Doesn't really work. Begging the claim. Use loaded language to push ideas instead of proving them. Cell phones, high-tech devices that cause distractions and cyberbullying should be banned in school, right? So there's a lot of sort of big words in here, high-tech, cyberbullying, but what have they actually sort of done? So be careful about using over big adjectives, loaded language, to actually push an idea rather than actually, again, explaining something. A false analogy. I've been telling you to make comparisons, but obviously, administrators who don't want kids to have cell phones are like wardens of a jail. Well, you know, that's not exactly fair, right? These are teachers that have the best interest in the students in mind, and they have a good lot of things. In some ways, comparing two things that aren't really the same doesn't work. Two things that are the same, right, can be very, very helpful. But two things that are, that are clearly in some ways going back up to this talking badly about something or somebody, making sure that the comparisons you're making are accurate. Correlation, no causation, right? Assuming that because two things happen, one caused the other. Some kids failed a test last week and they all had cell phones. Having cell phones in school made them fail. Obviously, we could say, well, maybe it was just a hard test or yada, yada, yada. Um, that doesn't necessarily prove, in some sense, that cell phones are bad. Students are notorious for doing this. And the last one, misrepresenting or oversimplifying the original argument, right? And then arguing against this misrepresentation. We see this a lot in politics. I want to raise tax. My opponent wants to, take all of your money. Not, it's not, no, no, no. We need to raise taxes on the, top 10, 5% earners. No, no, he's going to come and take your house, right? The straw man. All these teachers are claiming that kids having cell phones in class is the end of all learning. Now it is simply just not the case that cell phones are the end of all learning, and here's why, right? This is probably not what they're arguing. In some ways, a straw man, the slippery slope, and the what they call ad hominem, all of this is sort of kind of connected. It's just essentially trying to insult or degrade your opponent or the other side without actually proving that your side is the better case. You have access to this document. These are things that we want to avoid in our papers.